Hey folks, and welcome to another episode of Day Trading, Swing Trading, Market Wrap, done by InTheMoneyStocks.com. What I'd first like to do is concentrate on what the market did today, look at the breadth of the market and how strong it was or weak it was, and then focus in on the day trades that we did and how we did them. What you can first see from the ES chart here, which again is the S&P futures, is that this is the daily chart, and we pointed out the last couple days how we bounced off the 20 right here. And then if you see, the bar's not in here, but this is what we did today. We pushed up to the top right there where that point is. Now looking at the intraday stock chart, what we'll do is we'll move it back here. Alright. What we see here is that we started out low on the chart and we just started going up here. And this again is the gap down based on the 6.5 China move down. Alright, and as you see, we bounced up, fell down a little bit, bounced up higher, fell down a little bit, bounced up higher, then fell down into the Fed minutes, which were released at 2 p.m. On those minutes, we spiked down. The first move was always wrong, and spiked right up. Now, this surprised us for a couple reasons. One, you have to look at the market as an overall barometer of how far it's come. And not only are we drastically overbought in this market, but just today we gapped down almost 100 points on the Dow. And at this point where the Fed minutes came out, we had recovered to go positive. So you already we're really up 100. From where we started, which was a gap down, we're already up 100 points for the day. So what we expected was, the markets can do anything, and that's the key, is, we're neither bulls nor bears, but the market can do anything here. And what happened was we saw that initial sell, and it looked like, okay, well, the markets are going to head back down, because technically you can look at it as being up 100 points. But instead, it reversed, and wow, was that a move or what? Straight up, almost all green candles, all the way to the close right here, and then the after hours activity, we're down a little, we're down 0.75, but that's nothing. So as you can see, a huge move today. Overall, a big move on decent volume. We had over about 1.5 million on the ES, which is a pretty solid move. But overall, the breadth was not extremely bullish. It was bullish, but not extremely bullish. Now, the key here is to look at a couple different charts, and what I'm going to bring up is the Goldman chart first, and then a couple of the other stocks. And if you watched our hot sector report, which is under the hot sector report on InTheMoneyStocks.com, you'll see we talk about market stocks. And what are those market stocks? Well, those market stocks are stocks that really dictate where the market's going, and they happen to be Goldman, J.P. Morgan, Merrill Lynch, those kind of stocks. And they just happen to be, ever since Paulson got in the White House and handles the Treasury and foreign policy on currencies, it's always been Goldman has just taken over as the market barometer and how the market's doing. So Goldman was up today, as you can see, had a decent close here, up 356, but not a tremendous move for a $230 stock. What's even more interesting here is look at Merrill Lynch, down for the day. Okay? And not only Merrill Lynch was down, but J.P. Morgan was only up slightly. So what you're seeing here is that, and even these stocks were down quite a bit, and it only rallied in the very late afternoon, which is when the market took off, of course. But the key here, again, is to notice that these stocks aren't performing like they were. These stocks were up, in a normal day like this, the stock would be up $5. Goldman would be up 5 to 7, J.P. Morgan would be up over $1, and Merrill Lynch would be up significantly as well. And Merrill Lynch was down today, as we see. So what's this telling us? This is telling us that while we're still pushing up, some of the main indicators we use are not responding properly for a move up. So what this means is that we should expect, and we do expect, a pullback over the next week or two. Now, again, listen, you can call for a pullback till you're blue in the face. You really have to wait for all the technicals to flip, and that's what we're doing here at InTheMoneyStocks.com. We're waiting for all the technicals to flip before we say go short, because you just can't go short in this market. And at the same point, you can't go long in this market. It's ludicrous to go long at heights like this, yet you can't go short either because they keep pushing the market up. So at this point, what we're saying is you take small positions for very short-term periods, like a day or two, looking just for small moves, and you take the money off the table, you keep a tight stop, and you go from there. Okay. Now what we're going to do is discuss our day trades. Well, yesterday, if you remember, we had the DXD. Well, obviously, on the open, we gapped up nicely, and we sold our position there, netting about $500. Now, that was a great call by InTheMoneyStocks.com. We sensed something was amiss there yesterday. We picked up 800 shares of the DXD, And as China fell last night, we got a gap up in the DXD because it's the opposite of the market. So the market gapped down, the DXD gapped up. We sold right away because you always know that these China moves, you always have to sell immediately. Take your money right away. Alright, over the course of the rest of the day, we played it a couple more times, just for small scalps, just knowing about the technicals in the chat, in the intraday stock chat room. I would call out, okay, it looks like we're going to get a drop in the market here off the 200 MA or something like that, and we'd pick up another $100 here, $50 there. We did that 2 more times. Now, when the Fed minutes came out, we were under the impression that we'd get a push down, a bounce back up, and then a rollover. Now that did not happen, but what we did do is we did pick up a total of 600 more DXD as a swing trade again, holding it net for the next couple days, expecting a continued move down, alright? And we'll watch it very closely. We're keeping a very tight stop on this here. But as you can see from looking at the P&L, we made $698 in the DXD today, but we're also down on the open position a decent amount. So we'll keep that watch of that closely. Another position we took was for Blue. Now Blue is a very tiny small cap, and they have great prospects. And what happens is when this thing starts to run, it really will run. Now today was not its day. We got 50 bucks out of it on 2,500 shares, just a couple pennies, and we took the $50. Our other position that we're holding as a swing trade is one of our favorites. This is SWAT. The technicals on the weekly and the daily are looking more and more bullish here. Alright? Now they come out with little news. They're inputting more and more products into their portfolio. And again, this is in the security sector. And if you want to look at other stocks, you can look at T-Bus. Alright, look at this move here. As well as ISIN recently had a little jump up, and it's kind of come back down, and we're expecting another move up in that one. SYNX had a little move up today, right here. And again, SWAT is in the same sector. We believe it's the closest competitor to Taser. And look at the move on Taser here over the last week. Alright, they have a lot of these self-defense type products, as well as video systems, and just some very up-and-coming things that we believe are going to be very bullish for the stock. So again, SWAT is what we're holding overnight. We're expecting news. I mean, something's indicating in the technicals that we're going to see a nice push up on the weekly. And the weekly usually takes charge because it's a bigger time frame. So keep a close eye on SWAT. We're holding 2,000. We might lighten the load a little bit, and we're keeping a very tight stop on it. News could come out at any day. Bullish news would send the stock up to $4.50 to $5 in no time at all. And we're going to keep a tight stop underneath of it just in case any bad news comes out. Alright, folks. That's basically all the day trades for the day. We played DXD 4 times in total, and we're still holding 600 overnight. We might add to that position tomorrow, depending on how the market looks, to get back to that 800 share position we were holding yesterday when we made the nice score on. SWAT, we're going to hold 2,000 here. We bought that at 404. It's 403 now, so we're down 20 bucks on it. And Blue we sold out of, just making $50. Keep a close eye on the markets tomorrow, okay? Sometimes after Fed minutes, they push up the markets to get all the shorts to cover, when really when the markets really figure in what the Fed says, and then it rolls over the following days. Now, we're not saying that that's necessarily going to happen, but it bears watching because of how high and overbought we are in this market. So keep a close eye. We'll talk to you all tomorrow. Have a wonderful night. Take care.